Welcome guys to Glasgow Raiders Nation. I'm Owen James. This is all your latest Rangers news, guys, on Thursday. Look, whatever, the fallout obviously continues from the game against Plitzen the other night. We'll do a little bit of that to start off with. We're also going to talk about two potential signings. One that looks definitely in and on the way, which is Nobel Mendy, the young promising defender from Real Betis, and a possible link to a West Ham player. No, not Paqueta or Mikel Antonio, anyone like that. A guy called Andy Irving, ex of Hearts, ex of a tour around the lower leagues of Europe. West Ham United player currently. Limited experience in the Premier League. We'll talk a little bit about him as well. Right, we'll start off with obviously the fallout from the Plitzen event. Now, obviously, Cyril Dessers obviously injured himself. I've got to say, I've rewatched the video of the incident now a couple of times, and I've got to say, it's fucking embarrassing. It's proper embarrassing. He injures himself effectively play acting and falling over. It's actually quite embarrassing. I hope someone at the club has had a word with him and just told him, look, you probably put yourself out and disadvantaged the team for a good few months. I don't know the full extent of the injury yet, but by being a prat. And that's what he was being, a prat. It's disgusting, absolutely disgusting. And I've seen a lot of anger towards him from a number of Rangers fans. For an instance that's left us effectively with two strikers. Striker has to be a priority now. And, I think rather alarmingly, the two players we've been kind of linked with, the one that we are signing, which is defender, which is needed, of course, and a midfielder, but a number 6 or a deep lying midfielder, which I don't get the need for. Because we've got Rothwell, we've got Raskin, unless Raskin is leaving, we don't know it. We seem to have a plethora of these deep lying midfielders and not enough of, wide players. And we've got more than enough wide players, but, just not enough strikers. Left back we need a left side centre mid back, we need a right back, because the two right backs we've got at the moment are absolute joke. The best right back we've got is injured, can't stay fit, Dujon Sterling. Hey, who knows? But there we go. So look, it is what it is, guys. But look, the name the deal that obviously looks like it is on the way to being done and dusted is Nobel Mendy, the 20-year-old, for reported £2.6 million with a 20% sell-on clause for Betis if we do manage to make some money from him. Obviously, this is definitely a player trading model kind of guy. 2.6 million. I think that once he gets 22, 23, that value would have risen exponentially and obviously increased massively, so Rangers can sell him on for a big profit. And I think the hope for Betis is that they will then make some money out of this after doing something to foster his talent. He is very inexperienced. That's the one thing you can kind of talk about Nobel Mendy. A little bit sort of Manny Fernandez-esque. He's a left side centre-back. He's naturally left-footed. Can also play left-back as well, although he's seen more as being a centre-back option. He's 6'2", so he's definitely more seen as that centre-back option than a left-back option. I think we do need a left-back. Obviously, Kiefte is just absolute garbage. Ridvan is obviously trying to get a move away from the club, and Robbie Fraser quite clearly isn't fancied by the manager. John Suter, who is, I think, a decent centre-back, is not a left-sided centre-back, he's a right-sided centre-back. So obviously Mendy would come in and probably, come into that left-side centre-back role, but it looks like then Suter would obviously then drop out because, look, Nasadiga is on a season-long loan from Wolves. You're not going to bring him in, drop him straight away, are you? So, it's an interesting selection dilemma there for Russell Martin. But let's face it, the defence does need some work. The defence has been absolutely awful in the last few games. An absolute disgrace of a defence, just genuinely dreadful. Like I said, in terms of Mendy, the one thing that kind of worries me slightly is that we do lack experience and leadership at the back. There are no leaders at the back. John Suter is a leader, but by example rather than by vocal. James Tavernier is just not a leader, probably one of the worst captains in Rangers history. We need a leader. We need somebody with experience. I think that's probably why the link to Connor Cody came up, but obviously Connor's gone to Wrexham. I just think that bringing in someone like Mendy, who is clearly not a leader, he's 20 years old, he's just still a kid learning the game, and one of his strengths apparently is his potential, the potential to develop, and that's obviously a good thing. And now the PSV Eindhoven were interested in him. Now, I'm not saying this is a bad signing by any stretch of the imagination. I think it's a good signing in terms of getting a player we can develop, we can make money out of in the future. But surely for Rangers, it's not just about getting players and making money. It's also about bringing in players who influence the squad and can make an impact from day one and help us to develop and win trophies, because that's what is expected of this club, to win trophies. And look, we don't play in the strongest league in the world. We don't play in the EPL or the Liga or Serie A or the Bundesliga. We play in a league that's relatively weak. So we should be sort of looking at bringing in players who improve the squad straight away, develop the squad and go on to help us win trophies. Now, Mendy, like I said, I think has excellent potential, has a future in the game, certainly. His strengths are his passing, very good at apparently distributing the ball from the back. He is obviously very much a strong defender as well, reads the game very well, he's physical, a big physical guy, and we do need that, obviously. And in Scotland, that's a blessing to be big, fit and physical, because obviously that is the nature of Scottish football. It is a very physical sport. I think that's obviously one of the reasons why the likes of Ben Davies and Robin Propper haven't worked out at Rangers. Like I said, the big thing for me that does worry me with this Nobel Mendy signing is his complete lack of experience. If you look at the amount of appearances he's made, senior appearances, he's made 3 appearances for Paris FC, and he's made 2 appearances for Betis, so 5 senior appearances only. The rest of his experiences come in B team. Betis B, he's made 18 appearances for Betis B. He's made 11 appearances for Paris. Paris' second 11. He made some youth appearances for an African team. And obviously then he's made some more youth appearances within France as well. But all his experiences come up at youth level. He has, like I said, only made 5 senior appearances. And that is what is a slight concern for me. I've got no doubt this is a guy who will come in, develop, and certainly be a good defender a couple of years down the line. But the question you kind of ask is it not just Nsiala 2.0? And Nsiala arguably had a little bit more, had even sort of a similar amount of experience. So it's a strange one for me, especially as Nsiala has been told that, he can go out on loan this season to gain experience, that we're bringing in a defender that has no experience, yet we're sending out our defender who has more experience of playing at a higher level now after playing for us because he needs more experience. It just is a bit weird to me. I don't know, maybe I'm just tired or something, but it does seem very odd indeed. Look, I think Kevin Thirlwell's transfer strategy is not working out at the moment. I think obviously the time to judge it fully will be at the end of the window, but at the moment it's not looking particularly clever, is it? So hey, it is what it is, guys, and this is the player we've got coming in. And like I said, I think he is going to be a good signing in the long run, but like I said, in the short term, I think we needed more experience, we needed more leadership, certainly something we haven't had since Connor Goldson departed the club. And it was right that Connor did depart the club because he kind of reached the end of his journey with Rangers. He'd got to that point where he was starting to go backwards, and I'm not saying that it was wrong to sell him, but what I'm saying is we could have done with someone to actually replace him as a leader, and we haven't got that, and we haven't had that, and we still haven't got that now. The other name that's been linked with Rangers is Andy Irving, who is a midfielder from West Ham United. Currently, obviously, playing with West Ham. He's made 11 appearances only, though, in his time with West Ham. He's not a West Ham regular. It's worth pointing that out. Stories this morning indicating that it's not only Rangers that are interested in him. Apparently, Celtic are also interested in him as a more of a squad player, I'd imagine, with the players they've already got in their midfield. Also, apparently reported interest is Cologne, Mönchengladbach, Stuttgart and Sturm Graz from Austria. So, fairly decent clubs there in for Irving. I've got to say, he's not one that I've heard of particularly, not a name that jumps out off any page. He's 25 years old, he's 5'10". He started his career with Hearts, very much bounced around Hearts in the days when they bounced around the leagues. Also had loan spells at Berwick and at Falkirk as well. Has made 46 appearances, scoring 2 goals for Hearts, 18 appearances, scoring 2 goals for Berwick Rangers, and 19 appearances and no goals at Falkirk. Between obviously leaving Hearts and arriving at West Ham, he had experience in Germany with Türkgücü Munich, who play in the regional leagues in Germany, where he made 23 appearances, scoring a solitary goal. He's been playing on loan at Austria Klagenfurt, which is a fantastic name, in the Austrian second division, where he's made 31 appearances, scoring 5 goals. He's then been with West Ham, where he's made 11 appearances. He's most recently been on loan at Austria Klagenfurt. Look, I mean, again, the one thing I'm not saying that Andy Irving's a bad player. He's got a Scottish international cap. He got his cap in June 2025. I'm not saying that he's a bad player for any minute, especially in imagination. Like I said, I don't know a great deal about the lad. I just think that he's a player who is kind of coming in to fill a role. We've already got a plethora of players that can play in that role. Connor Barron, Joe Rothwell, Rascan, Dio to some extent can also do that job as well. So Bailey Rice, another one who can do that job. Is that pushing Bailey Rice further back, which I think is a bad thing? Bailey Rice is a very, very good footballer who I think should be given an opportunity to play, given how not great that area of the midfield can be at times. In total, in his career, he's made 203 appearances, scoring 24 goals. He's a left-footed midfield player. He is got a good passing range by all accounts. This is his scouting report. He's got a good vision for his passing. He's very technical. He's a playmaker. His weaknesses, though, are his physicality, which doesn't really stand you in good stead for Scottish football, and his consistency. He is gloriously inconsistent in his performances. So again, it's one that slightly does worry me, again, that we're going after players that we kind of already have got. For me, striker has to be a priority. I don't know why we're not being linked with strikers or why we're not moving for strikers, especially if this is out for any length of time. We need a striker. We need someone who put the ball in the back of the net on a regular basis. Yes, I agree the defence does need strengthening, but Andy Irving, for me, I don't know. I just feel, again, it's a bit of a waste of money. It's a player we don't really need. A player we don't really require at the moment. How much of an upgrade is he genuinely on Raskan? How many of an upgrade is he on Barron? How much of an upgrade is he genuinely on Rothwell, considering the majority of his experience has come, he was at Hearts, didn't do particularly well at Hearts, went to and then been playing in the German regional leagues and the Austrian second division. So again, it's a player I don't really get the need for. I think, to me, it just... It's back of a kind of panic, lack of desperation. Quick, let's get some players in quick because we're not doing very well. There's also, I think, been a link to one of the Leeds wingers, Ramazani or whatever he's called. Why do we need another fucking winger? We've got a million wingers: Cortez, Antman, Gassama. We've got loads of wingers at the club. I don't think we need another winger. We need a striker. We need a striker. The positions we should be targeting are quite clear for me: left back, left side centre back with experience, and a right back and a striker. That's what we should be targeting between now and the end of the window. We're not doing that. I'd love to know why we're not bringing in players with experience to play in defence, why we're not looking at full-backs, and why we're not looking at a striker. That, for me, has to be the priority. That is the worry. Really, really worrying indeed. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching Glasgow Raiders Nation, guys. I will catch you on the next one.